Hi, I'm Bonza.
I'm Lexi.
And we're in New York.
In a secret place. Sex club.
And I'm doing my project on women in pornography. And Lexi's helping me.
I've been in the industry for 7 years. It affects my personal life to the extent of if I meet a guy, he's cool with me doing it for like the first month. After that, there's a problem. And it's either I have to quit or I have to stop dating him. So as far as being with anyone, yes, it puts a big strain on it.
Like romance?
No. There is a way. It takes time to be able to separate your life with like your work life. You have to have an even ground between the two. At the beginning, it's not easy because it's so much for one person to try and like understand, I guess. But once you can find like a common ground between the two, you have like when you are dating someone, you have something totally different than what you would have like if you were on a set. I mean, granted, you do shoots with good looking guys and stuff, but that's when you have to be in that mindset that this is my job and this is how I make my money. This is not a relationship. Very upfront and honest with him in like the beginning. I tell him exactly what I do, and it's cool because I guess in their mind it's like, oh, I'm dating someone who does porn. But when it comes down to it, I guess they see it differently than I see it. Like, I see this as my job. They, in their minds, are thinking of it as me going out being with other people. I am pretty much my own agent. I never got an agent because I felt that if I'm doing what I do, I should be the one being paid for it. I shouldn't have to split what I'm doing with somebody else. I was 28 and I found this site that you can go on and put a resume, and I started doing that, and the first person that was one of my producers was Summer Hayes' husband. So I did a lot with him, and then I shot for other big companies. A lot of the girls that get into this have no idea what they're getting into. They are doing it because they see big money. Nowadays, it's not like it used to be as far as like money-wise. It's went down a lot. It's getting harder and harder to find jobs in this industry because of all the free sites that they have out now. So as far as working for a company, it's very hard to find companies that are going to pay you something good. I mean, I've been in it for 7 years, and I could have a company come to me and tell me, we'll pay you $350 for an hour shoot. And like, what are your limitations? And some girls don't have limitations. Some girls have limitations. The young girls, they get offered, let's say $1,000 for a 4-hour shoot. That's not good. But in their mind, that's a lot of money. But they say, I have no problems doing this, I have no problems doing that. And when they get to the shoot itself, they end up having problems doing certain things because when they said yes, they'll do it, they didn't realize what they were getting into until it's like put in their face to where they're having to say, okay, I don't want to do this. And then they end up walking away getting paid less. Or they go on to a shoot that's very, like you could go to a shoot that deals with like spanking to extents or like choking or gagging, and these girls are seeing $1,200 for 4 hours and they want to do it, and they totally get like, I mean, you sign a model release. Once you do that, it doesn't matter, you know what I'm saying? They get smacked or beat or spit on or, you know what I'm saying, gagged, and they don't realize that that's what's happening. So as far as like young people doing this, I don't think they are mentally stable enough to handle certain situations, and they don't know what they're getting into. Even if they were to get an agent, they're still getting ripped off one way or another. You know what I'm saying? Either with it being with themselves and what they're putting themselves through, or with an agent who's taking their money. So I believe it should be someone that's stable and a little bit older, to where they understand the circumstances of the situation. I mean, if it's something that they're interested in when they're 18, I think that they should check into it and like watch and see what it is. And there's so much out there on the web right now, and there's so many different things, and when you're that young, I don't think you really, I would say honestly, if you could get a good job and go to college and do well for yourself, I would definitely say do it, because I've done this for so many years, and it's like I said, sometimes you have really good months and sometimes you have really, really bad months. Back when I was 28, it was always good. Now, because they have so many sites that are free, you're not making anything unless you have your own website, unless you do your own webcams or you do your own clips for sale. And even then, you're not, I mean, you can do a 2-minute clip on clips for sale and make $2. Okay, granted, that's good if 20 people are looking at it every hour, you know what I'm saying? Or if you have a website where people go on and see your movies. But because like when you shoot with companies, there's so much that is going on free sites. Like even nowadays, producers I talk to that I've known for a while, they're getting out of it because it's not what it used to be. They're spending more money in paying people and doing production than they are getting it back. So it's changed. The industry's changed now. You know, it's more interracial, and I'm comfortable with that. But a lot of people aren't. It's more hardcore, like tied up and abuse. And I'm saying like it's not like the normal scenes that it used to be, like a normal boy-girl scene or a girl-girl scene, or those scenes aren't normal anymore. They've went to extremes because they're doing that, I feel, to try and like get money from the industry to bring it back up again, because people get tired of repetition, the same thing over and over and over again. So people want to see something different, and it's just different. It's over 7 years, it's changed a lot. It's changed a whole lot. That's a funny question. I guess I could say it like this. I've lived on my own since I was 16. I started off dancing when I was 17. I escorted a little bit, and I got into movies. Growing up on the street, it's a totally different like world, I guess. I have worked in brokerage firms as like, you know, a receptionist. I have done those things. I went to nail school. When you get addicted to a certain way of living and a certain kind of money, a normal 9-to-5 job is impossible for somebody to keep. It's not. You sit there and you make, let's say, $350 in 1 week on a normal, let's say, average 9-to-5 job. Okay, I can make $600 in an hour. So, but like I said, a normal job you always have. This job you don't always have. There are times where you might not have the money that you had that 1 month. Have other means of work. It's still in the industry. It never stops. You don't, because you're so used to how you make money that anything else isn't. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm not smart. I'm very intelligent. It's the simple fact that I have a hard time working somewhere making what I would make, and I can't handle that, because in my mind I'd rather suffer and wait and make the money that I'm used to making than to work every day and not make half as much, you know. Unfortunately, at one time I made like $350,000 in 1 year, and I was young and I had a drug problem, and it all was like, I look back at it now being 35 and I'm like, if I would have like invested or saved that. See, that's why I say you shouldn't do it when you're young. You know what I'm saying? Like, I escorted when I was 18. I made $350,000 in 1 year. Okay, but I was young and I was stupid, and there was other things and I wasn't thinking, and it just didn't matter because it just came so quick, you know? So it was like, oh, it's always gonna be there. But it's not. It's not always gonna be there. A lot of it had to do with, like, I lived on my own since I was 16. My grandmother passed away when I was 15. My mom took over, and me and her don't get along. So it was pretty much, I got sent to a girls' home. I was there 8 months. I came home, and my mom and me just clashed, so she told me to leave. And I did. Because I could have stayed, I could have dealt with it, but I'm stubborn. And I left, and I slept on the beaches. I lived in Florida, so it was okay. It was, I guess, it wasn't okay, but it was for the simple fact, like, I always had a place to stay on the beach. You always have a shower. You know what I'm saying? You struggle, don't get me wrong. You meet really bad people, totally. You get wrapped up into stuff. And I've went through all that in my life. I've done it all. I've been there and done it more than once.